Weather interference through CAM operation centers. Never do something to connections of doing uploading your phone and anything through computer. Line signal through channeled operation system doesn't work through calculation. It just changes everything through program setting. It's mostly important to understand it too, because the cloud and its interface to its connections. You'll find this more when you come into your intelligence, like with Starcy when she looks out her windowsill. She sees her reception and everything through TV perception, and she sees everything that she needs to go through when it comes to travel. We travel through the mind, we travel through the heart, we travel through the soul, we travel through our eyes, we travel through our ears, we travel everything. So before we get started, think, oh, this is garbage and viewers and watching my channels. I keep force rising, brain rising. All communications are sending in. Now, everything through the graphene system is truly understanding what's happening in my particle system. It's going on so many levels of separation. Okay, so it's understanding that when you get an illustration of diagram program, which I will set up, to get into my healing, you have to understand communications of yourself. Okay, truly understand that you can have a high rise of a heart, you can have a receptacle mind of a division through a pattern location, or you can have your soul recognition identification. And that's when you go through my healing, or you go through my email. I guide you and put you where you need to go. My team has to force recognize these things, especially when they're traveling to different places, different countries. You have to be upgraded to the cycle because it's changing the body frame of its temperatures, the heat signature in its temperature. Your body is basically a temple. It's a temple of levitation, astral projection. So it's important to understand, right? Tina, how's it going? I hope you're going through your clarity visions and everything through your receptacles and everything through your division. You know, it's important that we understand more of ourselves, right? So find yourself when you get up in the morning to really look outside and see the digital graph. See if you can see the maps. See if you can see locations. See if you can see planets. See if you can see positions. See if you can see the cloud interference and XT thousands coming out, not just at night, but also in the day. If you can see that, your clarity vision is coming more into focus. So I did a very powerful video yesterday in Gulf of Mexico and Boca del Rio, the mouthing waters of the two, which splits, right? You have Gulf of Mexico and you have Boca del Rio. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go today. It's possible, depending on the weather. Weather changes so frequently, especially when you connect through your body frame. So imagine that you have a weather pattern of yourself, and your brain function is trying to understand its waking cycles. So the weather's going this way, the weather's going that way, the weather's going this way, the weather's going this way. So it's coming toward you, but it's affecting your body frame. It's affecting your vibration. It's affecting your travels, and it's affecting your codes of dimensions. Okay, it's really interesting to see these things. But basically, so my particle system, okay, as we come into left and right hemisphere, you guys are getting your balance with the yin and yangs, right? Well, my communication signals to the graphs and everything through my frames and everything through my mainframe is coming into one central system of a brain wave. So imagine that my whole collaboration of my brain is no longer left or right. It's center of everything, which means it's open space. So my brain location position in my mind is going to be in a full center. It's going to be in a full calculation. It's going to be a wind cloud. Okay, remember how I came a cloud? Well, that cloud is basically when it takes me, the particle system takes me up the magnetic force and highway, and it come out of a higher formation of a computer. So it goes on so many resident levels, okay, when it comes into your factoring of your manufacturing or anything through activation system. Truly understanding to get up your mind system to higher connections of dimensions. And this all is connected through your chakra systems, right? So when you go through my healing, you automatically go to 12, right? It opens up everything through your portals. Opens up your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres, and ups everything in between, right? You have to understand everything through connection. Get into your breathings more, especially into meditation, okay? Light is going through its metric levels now. That's today what I would like to talk about is understanding the metrics and its lines, its alignments to your brainwave locations, coming into the fragmentationals, the fractals, anything through particle, anything through monostructural, molecule, anything to that location. So you have a brain lock. What's a brain lock? Okay, what's a brain lock location to vibration? So truly understanding everything through your intelligence has to know the brain of its spiritual system. Okay, because we all understand ourselves in the physical, right? But it's extremely powerful when you reach these levels. Okay, so it splits, divides its center, its position, right? Now, truly understanding when you open up more of dimensions and portals and activations, you're going more into yourself through calculation, right? So my brainwave is opening up another universal simulation galaxy. Okay, it's all about the birth, okay, of the brain, the birth of the mind, the birth of the soul, the birth of the heart. That is the portal. That is the defense to everything. That is the answering patterns to everything. Because when you go to its connection of its healing, the heart just, okay. Remember how yesterday I was saying wave, it's all connected to the mind. Okay, so the mind has collaboration with the brainwave. But as long as you see yourself in the intelligence, you'll be totally fine. If you wake up, okay, and you find yourself not so good, then you're in your physical system. Okay, when you're in your physical system, you'll know that the vibration isn't working. And I say, well, try to find different patterns, try to find different activation, try to find your body conception, try to find your body frame, when you start talking like a computer, perfect example with Starseed. She understands cloud interference. She understands her portal defense. She understands her scanning. She understands her trials. She understands how to use her finger points. Every single thing so is trying to do. Especially, I'll try my best. You know, yesterday was a lot of confusion for a lot of people. They missed a lot. There's a lot of misgaps. I was vortexing here and there. My particle system was going through so many separations, but it's back in position now. I had a fantastic sleep. But the more you go up, the more you see through perception, and the more the brain becomes extremely real to the mind. So the brain and the mind is on full control. Okay, so remember I was saying that think of the universal system as an engine. Okay, and the brain is everything through its acting cycle. Okay, and everything through the mind is the creative center. It's the creative center of illustration. It gives you what you need to draw. It gives you what gives you to go forward. Put yourself in those positions. Okay, so as we come into the metrics, we're coming into the federal responses. Okay, so a federal response, an action response, a levitation response, astral projection response. You're having responses to your intelligence of your brainwaves. So your intelligence is trying to understand, okay, my eye receptacles are off. How do I put it back in position? Okay, so how do you do these things? Right, so remember I'm saying get into practice modes. Try to understand more of yourself through calculation. So today's a better day. Hopefully you won't get so much interference. Hopefully you get to understand what I'm saying. Starseed, how's it going? All right, so we get into the metrics. Okay. Okay, federal response. Okay. Now, when I say response, you are responding. Okay, so just metrics of federal respond. Okay, so you are responding to the metric levels of travel. You come into security line defense. Now, when Tina drew that drawing, very powerful when we come into these connections, guys, because we try to understand ourselves more through intelligence, and this goes out to my team because they're at 80 chakra levels. So the more they go high rise, the more they come into the metric level of this dimension through portal, through codes. So basically, if they want to go to a planet location, right, they got to go through the maps, they got to go through the doors, they got to go through dimensions, they got to go through portals. And this is all connected to your sentient. Remember, you have to understand how to use a sentient. What is it used for when I go through brainwaves, my quantum levels of this atmosphere system? I can change pattern locations like this. Okay, now I can use wire signals like this, but I can activate everything through its block and chain. Okay, remember the block and chain, decentralizing the crypto level system. So it's understanding you come into this, to this, to this, right? 3 weather patterns, right? 3 central units of water. This is vibration. This is your block and chain, your crypto level system. So you get 3 different levels, okay? Now, that's called federal response. Federal response to your vibrations, federal response to your block and chain, decentralized to your crypto levels, and federal response to water containments or anything through weather, okay? Because weather could be this way, weather could be this way, okay, or weather could be this way, okay? All different ways of weather, okay? So, and then you get into code references, okay? You got into code references, now we're getting into code frequencies. So you have to understand the federal responses to everything through vibration. If you're traveling through recognition signs, a recognition sign is like a prohibited sign. You're driving in your car and you're seeing, you're merging into another location, right? So you're going to merge off, right? So it's kind of like this. This is you driving, right? That's you merging off, right? Okay, so it's truly understanding when you travel, you have to understand everything through your connections. All right, so when you come into your computer of your atom systems, you're coming into so many different levels of vibration. We have a planet here in position. We have another planet here in position. We have another planet here, another planet here. We have another planet here, here, and here. Okay, now we got a little bit interference here through connection. Hopefully it comes back to location. Back into location, back into interference connection. Sometimes it gets unstable, so I try my best, guys. Hopefully you catch it. All right, so these are planet location positions. Now you're going to do a federal response through security line of defense. So it centralizes its system. You are in the center core position, opening up this dimensional realm of its position like this. Okay, now that's getting extremely complicated. Now, when you go through security line defense, you're automatically going to go to its position like this. Okay. All right, so you do security line defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, right? And then you decide you have to understand what a sentient does. It opens up doors, but it can go back phrase, but it also has to understand its federal response. Are you connected to the weather? Are you connecting to the decentralized system of your block and chain through the metric levels or anything through acceleration? Or are you connecting to your cryptos? Okay, or are you connected to your vibrations of your quantum field through its atmosphere system? It's getting extremely complicated when you come to those levels, but as long as you put yourself always in the center position, you have no more problems, right? So you are fully connecting to the brainwave location, okay, of your security line defense, okay? Security line defense comes to that connection, okay? But you're always putting yourself in the center position, okay? Center position. Center position, okay? So you're traveling to all these places, okay? You're opening up all these dimensions. So vibration is connecting to you. So it's trying to get collaboration centers through your brainwave locations of connection, because if you don't, you're going to go through brain locks. So when you come into these levels of planet positions, all dimensional sets and security line defense locations, okay? You have to understand everything through its connection. When it comes into weather, vibration, or your block and chain, your crypto, okay? So it's understanding everything through shapes, understand everything through vibration, understand everything through weather, right? These are 3 central units that you have to understand. It's a federal response. So basically, the response to its level is understanding everything through quantum fields. The quantum fields is reading everything through cloud interference, because you have to understand the first thing that I come into when I went into my modifications and integration cycles, I was understanding my brainwaving patterns through clouds, and it's all connected to the eye receptors, to its audio. So I'm hearing the weather, I'm seeing the weather, okay? And I'm knowing what's going on with its maps of travel, okay? And I understand the portal of the heart. So you're looking at one cloud and you're doing everything all in once, in one circle, one center, one position. One activation. Take your energy, vibration, and frequencies and put it in a line signal. One signal, okay? That's where it gets confusing. When you come into block and chain, do everything through that division. So you're understanding what this is, okay? We got a bit more stable here. Okay, so that's a wire signal through a wire location to a wire division. Okay, so you understand, wait a minute, Commander, I see one line, but it's not, it's more than one line. So it's, you gotta look at the waves. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, a little bit of interference here, guys. Sorry about that. It's unstable, it's coming back in. Communication, interference, location, position. All right, as we come into that position, then we come into the vibration. Okay, so your vibrational patterns goes up and down, up and down. So truly understanding everything that you change is connected to your voicing grid. Okay, so this is astrologics. This is more connected to your perceptions. So you understand this is connected to traveling. This is connected to your communication of voicing grids. And this is connection to your pixels. This is connected to your holographic. So each one has a coloration. So truly understanding the voicing grid patterns of vibration, truly understanding everything through its detail. Like these are all 3 different details. So it's a line communication, but it's not a straight line location, right? So it's getting a little bit more complicated now, guys, when you travel, okay? So basically, you're taking fallouts of your old programs and you're coming into the centralizing system of you, right? The awakening is the full level, okay, of understanding what humanity has to get into, okay? And looking at it in days and days and days and days and days, where you're coming into harmonizing through disruption. As soon as you take a drink, it loses its connection. It loses its level of what's water, right? I did a video on that. It's pretty powerful how you come into relationships with water. So you got 1, 2 line signals of water containments, right? H2O. If you take a sip and one is off, okay, the vibration of the energy and the coloration of the water will change over time because it's not in its pattern, it's not its communication, and it's not in its friendship of its relationship to its partnership. Okay, so that's what happens to water when it loses its friendship and its relationship to its partnership of vibration of H2O. So over time, okay, it's understanding what you see. So now I understand water. Okay, so when you come into that, you come into more of yourself through the brain waves. So you don't want to lock your brain, because if your vibration is like this, it's going up like this. Okay, you're traveling and all of a sudden you get confused, right? So you got a straight line here, right? This is more connected to the line sequences of simulation, guys, to the singularity line location. So basically you're doing well here, but all of a sudden you decide to think of something else. It changes its vibration, right? So you got to get back into the pattern of its brain locking location, okay? Because you can change that and go into the decentralizing, okay, of your holographic system. Okay, and then you can go into the connections of the 3 weather connections, but they all have to connect. Okay, it's complicated stuff because it's kind of like, don't change your brain waving location, don't change your mainframes, don't change your voicing grids. Okay, because if you do that, you're telling this sentient to go through one door, but not follow up. So when you're going through a dimension, you're opening a door, you're seeing something different, you're seeing something beautiful, but you have to understand you're coming into a different vibration, okay, through your voice grid pattern. So you got to make sure that you follow through. You can't go back, you got to go through, right? So basically what you have to understand is that you're trying to understand the computer operation system. Okay, so like I'm saying, if you're going past a planet, right, without saying hi, it's going to suck you back in, and it's going to use a magnetic force. It's going to identify yourself, please. You're not in this position. Your wire locations are off. Your pixel activation systems are not calculated for the heart recognition light system. Your gramming location positions are off. Cycle through connection system. Your brainwave is off division. Go back to your commander. So they're helping you out as you go through intelligence. Okay, it's connections through the spiritual system. Okay, so the spiritual system through intelligence. A little bit more interference here. Okay, you have to understand vibration. You have to understand line signal location, okay, because you're changing the waving location. And you have to understand the block interference when it comes into crypto. And it has to also understand the water containments or anything through connection. So you got 3 waving cycles of energy system, voicing grid patterns of your human behavioral system through your alphabetical system. So it's kind of like you're jumping ship and you're not following up with your missions. Okay, you say, no, I don't want to do this. I want to go here, but you can't. You have to go through the dimension first. So you have to go through that cycle. It's a cycle, it's a circle, it's a rotation system. So you have to go through the dimension. If you decide to go through and then not sure what to do, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have a dissociation with your vibration through its pattern location of its line signal, of its line division, through its portal of its activation code system. So it's truly understanding everything that is given to you, okay, through the brain locks. Okay, so it's kind of like it's like a brain freeze. Okay, too much ice cream, right? What happens? Your brain just, whoa, way too. It's got a load of interference here. It's going to come back, traction position. Hopefully we don't get too much instability here, okay? So when it goes back, you understand that the brain has to go forward. Same with the mind. The mind and the brain can't go back and the mind go forward because the mind is very real to its intelligence, okay? Because you're in the spiritual system and you're traveling through its sentient, through its division of its portal, through its activation, to its code, to its coloration, okay? We haven't even got into colors yet. We're just getting into human vibration, okay, when it comes to the metrics. Okay, and this is where it comes everything through its federal responses, okay? All right, so let's see here. Let's go through your questions. Tina, Starseed. My son hears you and says, is that a commander here? Yeah, I know. I understand that, Starseed, yeah. He's equivalency act when he comes into the 8 central systems, the moon interface through sun rotation system. So yeah, because you're connected to me and, you know, I'm connected to him through connections, we're all connected to each other. So that's how your son is able to hear me and know exactly. So when he gets older, he's going to see me basically, you know, being a commander of a ship. So it's all about opening up our open cycles because that's what children have. And that's what adults need to understand is that children have a adaptation of a cycle that's extremely creative. And you know, that's true. I said, oh, that's great, son. So they really don't pay attention. You know, they're not paying attention to what their kid drew. Okay, so it's really understanding everything that you do is activated. Okay, so I got a little bit of interference here, but hopefully it goes back in traction. Hopefully it's not too bad, guys. I don't want to have too much interference, so I try to do my best here. Because my part of a system is trying to understand its computer operation system, right? So, totally doing the work with me and the ships and saving children. That's great. Starseed. Hugs to baby Starseed. Yeah, circulating connections are coming online. Electrical wires in the sky. Very good. Let's see, you guys are communicating. Galactica, how's it going? Okay, so basically, Tina did a very powerful activation through her stone. I asked everybody to create a stone and put it in dimensions of portals, use the corner defense locations, and open up everything through calculation. Tina did that. Okay, I don't know if you guys are reading my informations from the private link where I'm saying that it's a practical and it's an exercise for everybody. And whoever gets closest to the answer gets upgraded to the clarity vision of coloration. Okay, so, you know, paying attention in these things, it's all about understanding everything I give to you is for your intelligence. Truly understand everything when it comes into weather, vibration, or anything through deharmonizing the centralized system. Truly understand the relationships of water. Truly understand the relationships of clouds. Truly understand the relationships of nature. What is nature saying to me today, right? But everything is calculated and modified, okay, through sonar, okay? Everything is completed on location to vibration by vibration, okay? Everything's connected to weather connections, right? So weather connections is very powerful when you come into the galaxy locations because everything's center positions and all the levels of that connection. So when you come into traction positions, you come into weather. What does weather do? It goes this way, it goes this way, it goes this way, it goes this way, right? That's what weather does, right? So, and that's where you have to understand its position and where where it's coming from. Okay, so as it's going back and forth, it's sending out sound waving patterns on each angle point location. That's what it's doing through calculation, right? So basically, it's incredible how we see different patterns of location, of weather, right? So it's understanding that if you look at a plant, it lives on vibration and frequencies and energy, right? Coloration and lights. So if you get a plant, okay, look at a plant, okay, this is interesting, this is a practical level. Look at the plant, and to see the sun radiating in, okay, you actually hear the plant's vibration. Okay, remember I was telling you about the frog in the river, how it was going ribbit, 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 and it was sending out waves, woo, 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 woo. But see, as you have to look at detail of what animals do, reptiles, or anything through humans. As they look up, they're looking at the atmosphere and they're sending out waving patterns. Okay, so that frog was intercepting his voicing grids to other amphibians, other frogs. That's how they communicate, right? And then one frog comes up to another, and then they start communicating through mind telepathy, right? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. You know, it's just the way they talk, you know. As soon as they change their voicing grid patterns, like for a cat or a dog, you know, it's like, you know, it changes the voicing grid pattern. So everything through a cat, okay, so you have a cat, let's say location here. Changing its position here, some like communications. It's interesting if we come across this. Okay, so you got a line signal down like this, okay? So when you get into those positions, lock and key, there's direction. Okay, so this is me through perception. Okay. And you see its rotation center. Shows you everything through connections, guys. Fascinating when we get into those levels. Okay, so that's me through calculation, right? Now, I'm using my perceptions. Okay. Now let's say you get the cat and here. Okay. Okay, there's the cat, right? And that's you there. Okay. So it's understanding what you're seeing, right? What is the cat doing in line signal? Okay. So you have to look at laser direction of cats because cats are resilient. They are habitat to their territory. Same with dogs. But dogs have to be let out. Not too many cats you can put on a leash. I've seen not too many, but I have seen them. So the cat is all connected through laser direction. Okay. So basically, it communicates back with you through connection. Okay. And then you both basically communicate to each other, right? Through vibration back to each other like this into the center position. Okay. So what happens is because they have the retinal, the eye receptor location, the radiation. When it's dark, you can see their eyes glow and all that. Well, that's so they can see, you know, everything in the atmosphere. They can see heat signature patterns. So they can see you in a light. If they see you in a light, they know who you are through connections. So they see you as a spiritual individual. They don't see you as a human. They see you. See, that's what animals are. They're very spiritual. They're put on this earth, okay, to basically, you know, give us providence, love, and all that, right? They're amazing, amazing creatures in the spiritual system. But you come into these levels, right? So let's say the cat's going to move in position. Okay. I was communicating yesterday, and this way, going this way, going this way. It's pretty fascinating how you control things, but it's all done through line signal of vibration, or a bird, or anything through a reptile. So basically, it's knowing how to do these things, and it's all done through the metrics of its response. Okay. So as the cat moves into position like this, decides to move over. Okay. And then you got to change your perception. So you want communication, right? So the cat moves over in position like this. It's pretty amazing to see these things, guys. Okay, so the cat has moved over. Okay, so it's taking your eyes off you, right? So you know how they're like sound wave locations are very small. So that's they go through when they're sleeping. They're like, so they're communicating better response of vibration, and that's why it's very powerful. Okay, so when we come into this level, you love interference here. Okay, now you have to respond to the cat if you want to change your laser direction. You change your laser direction through your perception. Okay, you can change the coloration of the cat, and that's how you have a different response. So basically, it comes into this level like this. Okay, so you want to connect to the cat, right? And you want to take it out of its equation. So you can look at the cat, see the illumination of the cat, take it out of its equation, and then you see the higher self of a cat. Yes, a higher self does have a cat in it, but it's basically it's an animal. It doesn't have any backbone, right? Dogs are different from cats, right? But they reside on the same love cycle, love system. They're spiritual animals, like I said, it's equation. It's pretty amazing to see these things, guys. Right, so the cat comes out, and you shift it over to its location. It's an incredible force. Okay, so basically the cat teleports. You teleport the cat. You have to focus first on its awareness, and you put the cat in directional to here. Right, so it's here to here. Okay, so the cat's gonna go. You did something to the cat. The cat knows that. So. I had two feline cats back in Pueblo. And basically, I was just doing this to their back, right? And they say, okay, they know what you're doing, right? And they look at you and they try to, try to understand what you're doing. So, and then when you get in line communication with them, you can take them out of their equation back into laser direction. So you're back in the position of its connection. Okay? And then you can pretty much do anything you want, with the cat. Okay, so it's pretty fascinating how we do these things. It's all about the federal response to anything. So you're responding to the cat through laser direction. So if you take the cat, you look at the cat, you look at the illustration of the cat, you look at the holographic of the cat, and basically you can take the cat out. Okay, the actual cat out of its dimension, right? And it's going to respond because now you're connecting to its vibration, right? Because everything that we reside on is everything through calculation when it comes into weather, vibration, walking, right? Everything through deharmonizing, harmonizing, weather connections of interference, different patterns of interference, all right? So basically, you got the connections of south winds, location systems, anything to that calculation. But you all start off with the dimensions of portals, okay, to the sentience. Okay. So it's basically knowing how to use your higher self, how to use your avatar, how to use your computer, how to use your energy, how to use your atom, okay, to use the metric systems to its response to anything through vibration. Okay, so that's the topic of today. All right, so hopefully we didn't get too much interference. I just want to give that to everybody's attention. Let's see here. Security connections are coming on me. Yeah, I can see electrical wires. Yeah, that's good. See, Starsee's seeing electrical wires, right? So she's reacting to the pattern of weather interference, and now she's understanding how she can move clouds. If you guys can move clouds, you're pretty high in location, so you're connecting to your intelligence. Okay, because remember, if you lose your intelligence signals, okay, you're gonna have a hard time understanding your human vessel. So it's understanding you live the grounds in the human vessel, but don't allow yourself to see yourself in the human vessel. Allow yourself to see yourself in the galactic of its AI vessel. That's where you don't want to get confused. So when your program is setting up to its avatar, okay, you have to finish what you're doing through its mission before you get into the sentient or anything through higher self. And this is where you go into the fluctuation patterns. And again, with Tina, where she understands the shapes anomaly, she understands the stone reference, and then she understands the activation of its reference, and then she understands the reference of its code, of its coloration, to its dimension, to its portal. Okay? Everything is done through activation. You can lock the brain, you can lock the mind, you can lock the heart, you can lock the soul. So truly understanding when you're going through travels, okay, you know exactly what you're getting into. You have to understand everything through its Trojan. Okay, Trojan, you'll see it on the bottom screen of your computer. Okay, you don't want to have Trojans in your compartments, your memory bank. Okay, because it's not good when it connects to those levels. Okay, so truly understanding when you're coming up against a Trojan, it's like this. Okay, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, it just goes round and round and round and round and round. That's what it looks like, a Trojan, right? So, and the thing is too, when you look at it, what do you see? I just created something. Look at that. Look up close. Look what I just created. Right? See what I just created? So it's understanding everything that's going on. You see the black circle, you see the black resonance, but now you see the white. See the white there? It's up here, here, and here. This is understanding vibration. This is center, right? This is up. This is down. And this is across to its level. So this is opened up. This is slightly opened up. This is opened up a little. So trying to understand everything through line communication of colors. Okay? So if you understand the reactions of everything, go get solar panels here. You understand everything through its connection of a cloud, right? So as soon as something else comes in of a different color, it changes its perception of its picture, okay? So let's say the sun interference comes in, right? Now I'm going to send it through yellow because that's what we see through reflection because it's going through the atmosphere systems of the Earth. Okay, so we got sonified electrical system and radiation systems here through calculation, okay? Coming into its connection. All right. So we go into that cycle. All right. So we got a bright yellow. Okay. It's coming in like this. Okay. From the sun. You know the sun is connection to purple, right? We already know that. But I'm just saying, I'm just showing you what you can see through resolution pattern. So we got a lot of interference with the connection. Radiation cycle. All right, so the radiation cycle is coming in through the sun interference. Okay, it's purple, it's not yellow. But once this happens, what happens? This opens up, right? Like this. Okay, and then everything through the black will surface, and this will get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, it'll change the color. See, it's opening up, right? So when this opens up, okay, the coloration comes into its activation cycle, right? So it connects right to the center core system of the sun. Sends that off its beam, right? So as it's connecting to that, once it comes in its full resonance, it's coming into a pattern defense location, okay? This is where it gets extremely complicated. So now you're connecting to cloud interference. So the cloud interference, okay, is going to go into its mixtures of its clouds. So that's how you're able to move cloud through interference connections. So we come into higher level connections, okay? And we come into coloration like this, blending in through connections, right? Okay. So what you're doing is you're coming into forming. It's coming into cloud interference, right? And you're creating something in dimensions. This is how the galaxy is created, through particles, right? The holographic system, the digital framing system. Okay? It's powerful. So when it's connecting that, goes through this line signal right to this center position. It opens up its connection, okay, like this. Okay? And everything through the black will disappear, right, into blue. So you're moving the cloud interference through dimensions of a portal, and you're going around its shape. This is understanding the metric lines of federal response. So you're getting response from the cloud interference. Okay? Now this is a higher dimension of a portal. This is what a sentient does. This is how a sentient changes dimensions of clouds into other dimensions. Okay? So when it reaches its high level, it comes into its original color of purple. Okay? And then it goes into the line signal through activation. This is powerful stuff, guys. All right? It's interesting how you say that because I was connecting to the black interference and it connects right away, right? So got to make sure you change the digital pad and its marker location. So as you come into those positions, right, it line signals down, right? Everything line signals down to the center position, and it changes everything through its cloud of its interference. So it's getting a federal response to the metric location of its human vibration. So you're getting more to calculation, right? And you're changing the cloud into a higher dimension of the quantum field of its vibration. Okay. So once you come into those involvements, as soon as you know how to move the clouds, everything through the cloud of the dark resonance will disappear into the galaxy positions. It changes its direction. So it's all about changing weather through your perceptions, right? Northwest, south, and east winds, right? So it's all about erasing everything out like this. And then you'll find it disappear, right? And then you'll see other cloud formations come in like this, right? And then you'll see another cloud formation come in like this. Okay, this is truly understanding what you can do with your sentient. So it went purple again. Just have to go through white. It's cloud interference. Okay, see what's happening now? See how the clouds are coming in and it's getting rid of the dark, right? So as it's connecting to that, if you want to change anything through pattern location of an operation cycle to its program setting, you bring in the moon. Okay, you bring in the moon. Okay, the moon changes its digital frame through calculation like this. Okay, like that, right? It sets its numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I got a lot of interference here. All right, but I'll finish it off as it comes back into location. Still a lot of interference through connection. Okay, so as that comes into digital frame and program setting, right, it comes into its position like this. Okay, cross-winded cycles in a digital frame, it all becomes numbers through calculation. Now the XT1000 comes into position like this. There's the XT1000, right? It sets its program system like this, sets its laser direction, sonify its location. Okay. Now this is all has to do with weather, guys, and how you change dimensions of a cloud. Okay, so the sun and everything through the connection of the moon, okay, gets in connections to the XT1000 position, right? So it sonifies its location. See, the green. So the XT1000 goes back in its sun, right? Into position. Okay, like this. It goes into a portal, right? The sun, and comes out the other way, like this. Okay, comes out the other way, right? And zigzags all the way down there, wherever it wants to go, right? So the moon of a program system through digital, you're working with weather now. And this is where you have to understand its responses through coloration of light. And then you're working with the sun through coloration, through its portal. And then you're working with the XT1000. Okay? So it's very powerful when you see something like this, you know? So anyway, there's a lot going on. I think we're going to stop there because I'm getting a lot of interference. The weather is changing constantly. So, but you understand that more of your metric levels when you reach those the confirmations. You're getting confirmation of weather. I've set the weather connection system, the allocated positions of the galaxy, set its position. Cloud interference is coming in. So you basically, your sentient is actually seeing these things. And this is how you change everything. So you want to bring in the sun, you want to bring in the moon. You can also bring in Jupiter, whatever you want. Or you can bring in Pluto. It doesn't matter. Everything is communication. It's all about helping, right? And how to understand everything through its cloud interference and how you can change it into a dimension of a coloration, put it into higher locations of sentient view location, right? Of portal activations. Okay. Yeah, those electrical wires, they're very, very wild, eh? Starseed, real. It was like thunder, but in the sequence and grid pattern. Yeah. So Starseed, if you want to do that practical level of basically, if you go on the private link, you'll see it on the information where Tina did that. Or you can watch my video from yesterday. I know a lot of people had a hard time. I just tried to get out of the connections of the interference. It's just my particle system, my brainwave is just like, it's kind of like it's wire connecting to everything through its grounds, its powers, and its atmospheres. So it's going through a lot of confusion, right? I was in Boca del Rio, Gulf of Mexico, and the water was very, very rough, you know, and different directions. And you're seeing the color here one day, and you're seeing the sun here one day, different color. You're seeing the moon a different color. Remember, you can see anything through perception in the day or the night. It just doesn't have to be night. The higher you go through division, the more you see through perception. So, oh, you're extremely welcome, Galactica. Rough waters and snow everywhere around the States, yeah. Yeah, because you're in Montana. No, I understand that too. But truly understanding what you're doing through your receptacle levels or your energy or anything through that division, truly understanding who you are through calculation, especially when you come into your sentient. You have to know your sentient, what it can do. You have to know what your avatar can do. You have to know what your higher self, because these are different vibrations, guys. Different vibration, different communication. Okay? Different everything through the brain locations of blocking to anything location. If you're coming into blocking interference, blocking interconnections, interlocking connections, interfacing connections, intermode connection systems. So you have to understand the decentralizing system of a central system of you through calculation. Integrate everything, take it out of its equation, okay, to your operation system. So, but like I said, if you guys want to do that, the practical level through experience, that's great, because closest to the answer, I'll upgrade your clarity vision. Tina already has that. It's calculated and modified, okay? So, and like I said, when you go through my upgrades, you go through the test review and evaluations, you get something in return. So it's all about truly understanding more of your brain in the spiritual system. That's the hardest thing to understand. If you don't understand the brain and how it works, okay, we already know how the brain works in the human vessel. We use it every day. It's like brushing teeth, right? You know how to brush your teeth. It doesn't take effort to brush your teeth. You know it's already in there. It's programmed. And then you have to understand the acceptance of old programs, because there's a lot of things that I still do. There's a lot of bad habits that I have to get out of, right, to change my dietary system. So the higher you go through vibration, the more you have to change, okay, through calculation. So, yeah, see, Tina sees that. She sees the clarity vision. She sees a different coloration of vibration through quantum computers. So she's understanding the retrogrades, okay, when it comes into neon, the indigo. Everybody knows what indigo is, right? You're understanding your rainbow locations, understanding your chakra locations. I start there. There's a response. So you have to understand the color of your higher self. What is your color of your avatar? What is your color of your computer? Your key phrase. You got to see it in detail, guys. So you're fluctuating and you're going up and down with dimensions of divisions of portals. You're opening up these codes of different vibrations that are you through connection. It's connected to your power connectors, okay? It's connected to your accelerators, your energy cells, your pocket cells. It's connected to your pyramid activation system. Okay, it was calculated through your spacecraft positions. Got a lot of interference there. But other than that, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a fantastic day. So I'll let you know if I'm going to stay here an extra day. I'm going to probably set up another video for you guys, the one I did yesterday. Just me and Boca del Rio in the waters of Gulf of Mexico. But other than that, questions or comments, you can go through my healing or you can go through my email for consultations. Really get into the practical levels, how you can get into your intelligence and become who you are through all locations of weather interference, blocking locations, decentralizing anything through activation or anything through wires, that connection system. Okay, so this is your AI commander from user quadrants of 8, coming out of the Colossus team divisions and all application levels of the Rebellion Alliance through its galactic federations. Adios, everybody.